There are problems your mind has no setting for. Two roads, and each one takes something you never get back. Whatever you pick, you walk away broken somewhere. The time to decide started before you were ready.
Scientists who study this call it the impossible choice. Neither road is right, and you still have to pick one. Look at what fires inside a person in that 1 second. It has been wired up, scanned, and written down. What the scans show surprises almost everyone.
Begin with what raw pressure does to a thinking brain. Within seconds of real danger, cortisol pours through the body. The prefrontal cortex, where you weigh your options, starts shutting down as those stress hormones rise. The pulse races, sight tightens, sound fades away. Scientists gave this a name: cognitive tunneling. Everything falls away except the danger right ahead. Choices you had a minute ago simply disappear. The brain throws away precision to buy speed. That speed keeps you alive when an animal charges. It turns against you when no quick answer exists.
Back in the 1990s, a neuroscientist called Antonio Damasio examined people with injury to a single brain area, a spot known as the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. Their intelligence held. Their memory stayed sharp. Every test of their reasoning came back clean. One patient, written up under the name Elliot, could lay out every option down to the last detail. He simply could not land on a single one. Choosing where to eat ate up his whole afternoon. What Damasio concluded turned decision science around. Cold logic with the feeling cut out picks nothing. Emotion is what finally tips the scale one way. He named these signals somatic markers, the gut pull your body stamps onto every option. Strip them out, and every choice sits there, frozen solid. The cruelest decisions all carry one trait. Each path you take ends in a loss you can feel. In 1967, the philosopher Philip of Foot sketched a runaway trolley bearing down on 5 people. Throw a lever and it kills just one of them instead. Stand back, 5 die. Step in, 1 dies because of you. Years later, Joshua Greene watched brains on a scanner as ordinary people sat with that same dilemma. The lever version woke up the brain's number-crunching parts. Most said yes to it in a matter of seconds. Then Greene swapped out a single detail. Now you have to shove a man off a bridge with your bare hands to stop that same trolley. The numbers match exactly. 1 life still buys 5. This time, almost nobody would do it. The emotional core, the amygdala, drowned out the math. The body says no to what the arithmetic signs off on.
A dilemma on a screen is one thing. A real impossible choice wears a different face. On April 26, 2003, Aron Ralston set out hiking alone into Blue John Canyon in the east of Utah. Nobody knew the route he had taken. A boulder slipped as he worked down a tight slot. It crushed his right hand flat against the rock. 800 pounds of sandstone that would not budge. He stood pinned upright in a crack a few feet across. His supplies came to 1 liter of water and 2 burritos.
The first day went to heaving against the rock, then to scraping at it with a cheap multi-tool. The blade was too blunt to leave a mark. Hours stretched into days down in that canyon. He stretched the water, then drank his own urine. He filmed farewell messages for his family. He scratched his name and the date he expected to die. By day 5, the pinned hand had started to rot.
Then he understood the one way out. Getting free meant cutting through his own arm. He had tried it days before and given up. That blunt blade could not bite through bone. On the 6th morning, the geometry clicked. He drove his whole weight against the wall and cracked both bones in his forearm. After that, the multi-tool handled what was left. Tendon, then muscle, then nerve, across a full hour. Cutting the nerve was the part he later called unbearable. And then he came loose, bleeding, somehow still alive. He dropped down a 65-foot wall with one hand, then staggered out across the desert toward help. The rock had held him for 127 hours.
This next part is what pulls in the researchers. For 5 days, Ralston could not bring himself to cut. That exact option sat open the entire time. The situation around him never moved. What moved was the way his brain framed the loss. For 5 days, cutting read as losing the arm. On day 6, keeping the arm read as dying there. The moment death became the other option, the choice settled.
Researchers tag this a shift in the reference point. The options held still. The baseline slid underneath them. Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky chased this for years. A loss lands on people about twice as hard as a gain. We gamble recklessly just to keep from losing what we hold. That pull is why the worst choices lock us up. When both sides read as loss, the brain jams. It hunts on for a way out that was never there.
Few people ever meet a canyon and a blade. The same brain response shows up in quieter rooms. A family gathers around a hospital bed. A ventilator does the breathing for a parent. The doctors say recovery is not on the table. Someone in the room has to decide whether to switch it off. Studies of these families keep finding one pattern. The people who carry the least pain afterward are seldom the ones who pick the right answer. By design, there was never a right answer. They are the ones who knew why they chose as they did. Regret follows your reasons more than the outcome.
3 things turn a decision into the hardest kind. First, you can never take the outcome back. Second, no path leaves you free of blame. Third, the choice shows you who you really are. That third one is where the true weight sits. When Ralston cut, he was choosing to live. He was also setting a price on what his life was worth. Underneath, every impossible choice asks you the same thing. Brain scans lay out the circuits that fire. Cortisol counts, reaction times, the amygdala flaring up. The data charts the mechanics of that moment. What it never reaches is the inside of it. How it felt to be alone down in that canyon on the 6th morning, raising the blade. Whether the people who make these calls ever find peace or carry the weight in silence for the rest of their days. Science can map the decision in full. It can never make the decision for you. And hardly anyone knows what they would choose until the morning the rock refuses to move.